Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine's been really awesome, and today we have another great video lined up. So much more juice, guys. So we're gonna first start off with Seagull. He actually gave us a really good inside perspective on what it's like being in the Overwatch League at a strategic level. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but the intricacies when it comes to playing at the highest level possible is insane. There's so many mind games between the players, especially when you're dealing with the best in the world like New York Excelsior, London Spitfire, Philadelphia Fusion. And Seagull gives us a great example of this, so we're going to take a look at that first, then we're moving on and talking about Jayne. So Jayne, he was on his stream today and people were asking him about recent leaks and just what he thinks about them overall, and if he can give any out for the Dallas Fuel. He gave his response on pretty much everything. He said there is a lot of wild leaks out there that are true, but he also said some of them might not be so true, and it's really interesting from an inside perspective. We'll go ahead and take a look at that clip and talk a little bit more about the leaks recently, because moving on to the next topic after that, we have one more coming out from Benchmob. This one's interesting. It's about the Overwatch League, and apparently Blizzard is cutting next season down from 40 games to 28, which I personally do like, and I'll tell you guys exactly why, and also that there's going to be only 2 stages, so it's really interesting. We're going to talk all about these potential changes coming from Blizzard for Season 2, and how I believe it'll be much better for the actual players. And then, guys, we're moving on to Wizard Hyung. Apparently, he found a team because he posted on Twitter saying that he is not looking anymore, so that's interesting. We'll talk a little bit about him, and then lastly, we're going to end it off with Jacob Wolf. So he made a tweet as well, and if you guys don't know who Jacob Wolf is, he's from ESPN, and he always drops leaks about Overwatch League, and he's usually always right, but he's been really quiet this offseason, so we're going to check out and see what he had to say. And that's pretty much going to be the video, so if you guys are excited for it, be sure to drop a like. And also, if you want to stay updated on anything and everything Overwatch League, this is 100% your channel. Click that red subscription box, join the family, do not miss out on any news. I posted it as soon as it happens, so be sure to turn them post notifications on and you'll never miss a video. And now, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright, so starting off with Seagull from the Dallas Fuel, this is what he said on his stream when he was talking about how hard it is to be a pro player when it comes to strategy and outthinking your opponents.
I can tell you in the Stage 4 finals, or Stage 4 playoffs versus NYXL, I had a Diva opener for one match where on King's Row offense, I would go left hotel and my team would go right statue, and I would solo split top window on the second window, right? And I would rotate all the way around and clear the windows to try and herd them towards point. This is solo Diva. You know what happened during the NYXL finals? Jonak is sitting in the fucking window staring at me. And I'm like, there's no way Jonak is stupid enough to peek me as Diva, so I didn't do it. And I went and I checked for a trap, and fucking Libero had a trap, and they're trying to bait me into chasing Jonak in the window. And I did it only for one map. Like, that's the level of play these teams are playing at in the Overwatch League. And it's just like, if you get a gut feeling, you just have to follow it. But it's like, I got lucky. Maybe next time I don't do that, right? But it's like, that shit happens. And it's like, I can talk about pro level stuff all day. It's just cool to talk about it, but that's actually how these teams are playing at. And you don't get to see all of it because you're not like the casters do not have the time to show you, right? Because the pacing is insane. Oh my god, that freeze.
So that's what Seagull had to say about pro play. Very interesting, and I mean, it's completely true. If you do take a look at the actual VODs of the games and you pause like every single team fight, take your time, look around and see what individual player is doing, you'll notice that these players are doing things like above and beyond that you never thought of. And it's also a great way that could help you improve your own game. So say you watch this actual VOD that Seagull's talking about. You'll see how he goes over to the left by himself, and then you can pause. You can see where Jonak is. You can see where all the other players on the New York Excelsior are, where the Dallas Fuel are. And this is where you start to like understand a little bit of strategy. And at the end of the day, really all it is teamwork. Like, you can apply this to your actual games in Overwatch. Even if it's solo queue, just tell your teammates, hey, I'm gonna sit over here, be sure to be behind me, Mercy, Zenyatta, McCree, whoever you got on your team. Just tell them you're going to be sitting in this position and looking to bait the enemy, and if you get jumped on, you want immediate support, and then communicate with them when you do get jumped on. Of course, sometimes it won't work out because you don't always get players on your team that will listen, and that's the unfortunate thing about Overwatch, but for most of the time, I do feel like you'll run into people who are willing to listen, who will actually help you when you get in trouble, and this could definitely help you guys win actual games. And this is usually some things that I do when I'm taking a look at at VODs and creating videos for you guys. I'll go and I'll pause and I'll look at what every single player is doing so I get a better understanding of how well they're performing, if they're working with their teammates, if they're in the right positions or getting caught off guard. And this is the thing that makes Seagull so damn good at the game, is he's really smart. He didn't fall for the bait of Jonak. He could have easily went up there and tried to kill him because he saw him out of position, but then he had to think again for an extra second, and then he realized, oh wait, it's Jonak, the best Zenyatta in the world. He's not going to just sit there and let me kill him, because if he was, he wouldn't be the best Zenyatta in the world. So Seagull didn't go. And that's like the difference between a really good player and somebody who is like really good mechanically, but doesn't have that great understanding of the game yet. And that's usually like the difference between contenders level play and the actual level of play in the league. Well, that's not true. There are some contenders teams, like the best in North America, obviously the best in Korea, who do understand this level of strategy and apply it to all their games. But it's just that most like really high level ladder players, they don't think about things like this. They just see somebody out of position and they're like, all right, I'm going to go out aim the person because that's the objective of the game. But now, and especially in the Overwatch League, it's more about outsmarting your opponents. Reinforce actually talked about this in that Aero AMA that we took a look at the other day. He said that the difference between contenders level play and the actual league play is that the players are so much smarter. They understand the game at such a high level, and it's because they have all these coaches at their disposal, which is very true. But you can still take the extra step without a coach and help yourself improve. Anyways, that's it for Seagull. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk about Jayne. So he was asked on his stream earlier about all the leaks that have been going on recently, and he had a really cool response. I really enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and take a look at what he said.
Any leaks for the fuel? Man, this season is so leaky. There's so much juice going on Twitter, and I've just been shit posting emotes on like random tweets and shit because it's hilarious. There's a lot of like really scarily accurate leaks out there, and there's a lot of leaks that are just like completely off the mark. And it's so funny to me because nobody has any idea which leaks are legit, and all the people who are trying to kind of like be like, I know that this is happening, they're just like muddying the water so nobody knows what's going on. And it's actually fucking hilarious from the inside.
So Jayne clearly is really excited about all the leaks and all the juice lately, just like all of us. And obviously he knows exactly what the Dallas Fuel are going to do, whether they're getting rid of a certain player or picking up new players. He's got the inside scoop, and it's probably really fun looking at everybody speculate and make stuff up. I'm sure he's having a good old time laughing about all of it, but I'm not too sure if he knows everything about all the leaks. Like, let's say the leak about China. Are they going to have 4 teams going into next season? I don't think that's something that Jayne would know. Maybe like actual league owners would know that, but I'm not too sure about somebody who's an assistant coach. But I'm sure he does know stuff about other teams, not everything, but like if teams are willing to trade players, they're definitely going to contact other teams and let them know that those players are up for trade. But again, I don't even know if that's something an assistant coach would know, unless like the actual organization, like the managers, decide that, yeah, we should target this player, and then they'll ask the coaches about it. But let's say like LA Gladiators, right? They dropped iRemix, Silk Thread, and Asher. There's no way that Jayne knew this was going to happen before. There's no reason for the LA Gladiators to go out and tell any of the other teams, yeah, we're getting rid of these 3 players. They're just going to get rid of them, and then the Dallas Fuel will know about it, and then they can contact the players if they want. The only way it's possible Jayne would have known these were going to happen is if the LA Gladiators gave Dallas Fuel a heads up, like, yo, we're going to drop these players, and because we're nice, which is very unlikely, there's no reason one organization would want to help out another one because they're competition. The only reason is maybe if they wanted to help the players out. Say like they really liked iRemix and they felt bad about kicking him, they're like, all right, let's contact some teams and let them know that he's going to be available. That's the only reason though, nothing else. It's not like they would want to help the Dallas Fuel. So I'm not too sure Jayne knows that much about all these leaks. But it still is really cool to see his reaction because he's literally just as excited as I am and all of you guys, and that's really awesome. But anyways, let's go ahead and move on now to the next topic because it actually does have to do with another leak. It's from Benchmob and it's about the Overwatch League season length. This is what Benchmob tweeted out. Sources: Blizzard changing Overwatch League regular season format ahead of Season 2. The number of total regular season matches of each team played is being reduced from 40 to 28. In addition, Season 2 will be broken down into 2 stages rather than 4. Alright guys, so my first thought to this was, wow, thank God, 40 to 28, this is so good for the players. In a regular season that was just full of wrist injuries and burnout, players wanting to quit and retire because it was just too much, too stressful, they needed to cut these these games down, and 100% this is why they're doing it. They're doing it for the players. There's no doubt in my mind. And now they're also breaking it down to 2 stages rather than 4. This makes me think that it's still going to be a really long season, but the teams are now going to have more time to prepare per match. So now with 28 matches instead of 40, let's say maybe it's going to be 1 a week. That would be a perfectly ideal season for me. 1 match a week, you have a ton of time to prepare, and then maybe they do like super weeks here and there, maybe once a month. They throw in a week where every team has to play either 2 or 3 games, which is definitely justifiable. They used to do that in like North American LCS for League of Legends, and it was always fun seeing teams play more than once a week, but then you get back to the regular schedule and it's not too vigorous. There's plenty of time for each team to prepare, and that was a problem for Season 1 in my opinion too. There was a lot of games where teams were not able to prepare for. So let's say Dallas Fuel, they have to go up against London Spitfire on Wednesday, and then they have their next match on Thursday, the first game of the day, giving them only 12 hours to prepare from their match against London Spitfire for New York Excelsior. Like, that's impossible. You can't do that. They're going to lose that game against New York Excelsior because they're such a strong team. And they're only playing their first game of the week. You're on the second one. You spent most of the beginning of the week preparing for the London Spitfire, while New York Excelsior spent the most of the week preparing for you. You're screwed. You can't win this. Pretty much all strategy gets thrown out the window, all preparation gets thrown out the window, and it's just like who is going to play better at that moment. You can't really out-prepare your opponent, which I really don't like. I want to see the highest level games possible, like we did in the playoffs, where every single team had so much time to prepare for the other, and then the best teams came out on top. And then I do like the idea of having 2 stages. This means that they can play 14 games in each stage and then have a decently long break in the middle. Giving each team like a month off or something would be great, maybe even a little bit more. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this topic. Let's go ahead and move on now and talk about Jacob Wolf and what he posted on Twitter. He said this: "I'm aware of what's being reported in Overwatch, and I've kept my ear to the ground. Nothing I've felt worth reporting at this time, and I'm on a deadline for another story. That is all." Okay. I guess an interesting post coming out from Jacob. Again, if you guys don't know him, he works for ESPN. He always drops juicy leaks about Overwatch League and just a whole bunch of other games. He hasn't leaked anything really in the offseason yet, and it seems like he's saying maybe some of the leaks coming out are not true, or that he just hasn't heard about them. Who knows? Take it at your own will, guys. I'm not really too sure what he means with this tweet, but that's going to be it for this video, guys. Be sure to let me know down below if you enjoyed this video. What did you like about it? What didn't you like? And specifically, let me know what you guys think about the changes coming up to Season 2. If they're true, do you think it's good that they cut the games down and only have 2 stages now? That's going to be it for me, though, guys. Be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe for more daily Overwatch League videos, and I'm out of here. Peace.